Are you actually manifesting or are you just mentally gooning? I know that sound crazy, but you gotta hear me out. There's a clear difference between trying to learn new information and watching manifestation content to protect yourself from uncertainty. And ironically, the same uncertainty that you're trying to avoid, that's exactly what you need to step into to manifest what you want. So in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you the signs of a chronic gooner and why this is detrimental to your manifestations. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. If you're having trouble getting consistent results, I have a 4-week roadmap that shows you how to become somebody who manifests consistently. Plus, you'll get direct one-on-one coaching whenever you need help or guidance. If you want to go tap into that, link in description. So the first sign of a chronic gooner is consuming manifestation content instead of practicing it. One thing you got to realize is that most people already know how to manifest. The only reason people continue to make videos is to explain the nuances that you're going to experience during the process of manifestation. But the moment that you get a desire, please understand the desire is completed. Like, you have already done what you want to achieve. That's exactly why you want it. So don't overcomplicate this shit. More manifestation content, more information doesn't necessarily mean more capabilities to manifest what you want. More than likely, the next video that you're going to watch isn't going to have like the next best thing or some new hacker or fucking method or some shit, bro. You already know what you need to do internally, but you just don't trust yourself enough to know that what you are doing is the right thing. But you have to give yourself that certainty, bro. No external thing is going to give you that certainty unless you give that certainty to yourself, bro. Please understand that. Every time something isn't working, the automatic response is, I need more information. When in actuality, it's not really the information that you are lacking. It's the consistency in one identity. Your identity and perception of self is what creates what's in front of you. If you're somebody who's been watching manifestation content for like 5+ years, you have already tapped into a multitude of different creators. And these different creators have different experiences, different belief systems, and they experience different things. So they obviously gonna tell you something different, right? So if you are gonna watch a creator or you are gonna watch manifestation content, choose 1 or 2 people, bro, and stick to that shit. The more information you consume, you're just going to confuse yourself and you're going to distort your frequency or your identity. And you're not really going to trust yourself. So more perspectives equals more contradictions, and that equals more confusion. And if you confused, it becomes way harder to focus your attention and your consciousness on one version of yourself. Internally, you're projecting lack onto your own identity because you believe you're not enough for what you want to achieve or what you want to experience. And that same lack that you're projecting onto your own identity, reality is reflecting that back to you. You start to see more manifestation content getting recommended to you. You start to walk outside and you feel like you're not doing the right thing. You always feel like there's some missing piece. And this is actually cooking you, bro. Please understand that shit. So the second sign of a chronic gooner is you're addicted to the feeling of progress instead of change. The reason this cycle is so hard to escape is because learning new information feels like progress. When you come across a new video explaining why you feel stuck, then you're like, oh, that's what I've been doing wrong. Now I finally understand it. But the issue here is you only feel like that because you initially feel like you're doing something wrong. But if you truly knew who the fuck you were and you realize that, like, it don't matter if I do this technique, I do this technique, I do this, I do that, I'm going to get where I want to be, you wouldn't look at the video from that perspective. You probably wouldn't even have clicked on the video to begin with, bro, to be honest with you. That emotional relief can feel like things are changing, but it actually doesn't change who you are inside. It can change your internal state, but it hasn't changed your perception of self. What really creates change in your life is who you believe yourself to be, bro. It's your perception of yourself in your own reality. This is what genuinely creates change. Now, the thing with that is, it's like, well, that's a very simple concept to internalize, right? But when you actually go do it, it don't feel like nothing is changing. You can tell yourself, I'm a millionaire, I'm confident, I'm successful, but internally, it don't feel like nothing is changing. This is why it's important to be consistent in one identity. And now you're projecting a clear signal to reality to reflect all circumstances, people, places, and things that are reflective to who you believe yourself to be. This is what I've been trying to get y'all niggas to understand. And when you really understand that shit, you don't ever fall into the cycle of over-consuming manifestation content or falling for these clickbait titles. Every new concept that you hear makes it feel like you're about to change, right? But when you actually commit to the change, it feels uncomfortable. So that same uncertainty that you was avoiding, you go right back into it. But I need y'all to understand that that same uncomfortability is signaling that you are changing as an individual, right? Out of chaos comes what? Order, my nigga. Everything in this third dimension is dualistic in nature. This third dimensional avatar that you're observing this video through has to go through duality, bro. It's no escaping that shit. It's literally built within this third dimension. But you as the 4D awareness are controlling the avatar like you playing a video game or something, bro. So it's no escaping the uncertainty. Out of the uncertainty is going to come order and success, right? That's why you feel it, because you're growing as an individual. So the third sign of a chronic gooner is you've turned manifestation techniques into a ritual that gives you temporary security. Now, I want to talk about visualization, for example, or really any other manifestation technique, but mainly on visualization. So even me personally, like I'm a culprit of this shit. Like I used to visualize to escape my current circumstances and not from the perspective that I was reminding myself of what I've already done in the future, quote unquote, future slide or the future part of the script, right? So internally, this looked like escapism rather than transformation. When you feel like you're fantasizing about something, internally, you already know that like, man, this isn't really a true reality. This isn't really who I am. I'm just doing this because I want to escape from my physical circumstances. And this projects lack onto your own identity. Going back to the beginning part of this video, when I was talking about your identity and perception creates everything. Your perception of the technique and what you do is what creates the results. It's the person behind the controller that creates the results. And the person behind the controller is your identity and perception, the 4D awareness, the observer, bro. Because again, you're a 4D being. You're observing a third dimensional avatar. So if you're given the third dimensional avatar visualized experiences from the perspective that you're fantasizing, then the avatar or your ego isn't going to conform to the assumption that you're actually the person that you see in your head doing that same shit. This is why the technique won't fucking work, bro. Understand that shit. It's who you're being while doing the technique. It's the identity doing the technique. The deeper issue here is where you place your power at. If you look at the technique as some external thing that gets you to manifest, then you're never going to be able to manifest consistently. Consistent manifestations comes from the person doing the technique because you have placed your power in yourself and not some external thing. Because again, the third dimension cannot offer you anything. Anything outside of yourself cannot offer you anything. You give validation and power to things outside of you. So think about it from this perspective, bro. In this third dimension, everything around us is inanimate. If I were to die today, everything in my observable environment would not move an inch because I give power in life to the things I observe and give my attention to, right? It's the same way with stuff in your life right now. Circumstances, people, places, and things, right? Even techniques. Your perception of these things is what gives it its life and its form. It gives things outside of yourself purpose, right? So if you perceive your circumstances in your life as working in your favor, then it can only project and give you that experience to yourself as the observer of the third dimensional avatar, bro. Please understand that. Please understand that shit. So the real thing you need to be focusing on is who you are when you're not manifesting, right? I don't even really like using the word manifestation because it's really an umbrella term of what you already have been doing before you even became aware of what manifestation is, right? It's your internal mechanisms of your identity in your brain. So the clearest way to figure out if things are actually changing is to stop measuring manifestation with how much manifestation that you do. Don't look at how many affirmations you said. Don't look at how many times you visualize. You need to be doing these things because you are the individual, right? You need to be doing these things from the perspective that you're already the person that you want to become or that you already have what you want, right? So if I feel like I don't need to visualize, then I don't need to force a visualization. If I don't feel like I need to affirm, then I don't need to force affirmations. Even if I may not have the physical proof of this identity, if I don't feel like I need to do it, then I don't need to force it. When you start forcing shit, bro, and this is why I say manifestation is easy. When you start forcing shit, again, you project lack and insecurity onto yourself because you're exposed into reality through your reactions that, hey, I'm not the person that said I had this thing. I'm not the person that has what I want. And you're giving mixed signals to reality through your frequency or your identity or your perception. You can spend every night visualizing that you have success, but what happens when somebody doesn't pay your invoice? Think about this shit. It's all about your reactions and who you are from within. Us as people who talk about manifestation are just explaining the nuances and the inner mechanisms of how you can control what you do on a daily basis to align yourself with that version of yourself that has what you want. It's not some highly sophisticated process that you have to consciously monitor and control 24/7. It's who you are at your deepest core. And we're giving you the tools and the knowledge and the know-how to align yourself to that version of yourself, bro. Please understand that shit. You can stop watching me. You can stop watching manifestation content and still get what the fuck you want out of life. We are just giving you the awareness to make that shit happen way easier and way faster, because awareness always precedes change, bro. What you need to be asking yourself is this technique that I'm doing actually changing what I expect out of life? Is this technique actually changing how I see myself in my own life? If you're doing a technique from the perspective that I'm doing this to get, then you have already failed.